What he just said has the Texans fired up. More specifically, one player is going to have a season for the ages for the Texans. I cannot wait for this season. We are less than 1 month away. Maybe a little bit over a month. But I mean, I just can't wait for football season. Comment down below how excited you are for football season, because I am more than excited. I think I'm over the moon about this team and just how I've spoken about it this offseason. Let me know your thoughts on how this season might just go. But let's jump right into it. 75% of you are not subscribed to the channel. If you would, hit that sub button. The support on the channel has been unreal. Just thank you guys for supporting the channel. As for today, it's DeMeco Ryans hyping up Will Anderson Jr., the outstanding edge rusher. I mean, he's, 3 years into his career now, and, I mean, he's had close to double-digit sacks every single season. I mean, that's all you can ask for. Will Anderson having 12 sacks, including the playoffs last season, that is incredible. Being alongside Danielle Hunter, even Jonathan Grenard before he went over to the Vikings, that was a great, huge success point. As for DeMeco Ryans, he's done a very good job taking his game to the next level this season when it comes to his pass rush, and we're expecting maybe a Defensive Player of the Year incoming. Matt Burke also talking about the improvements, what to expect for 2025. This could be where he takes over the league. Not that he hasn't already. 11 sacks last season in the regular season. That's a lot to ask for, but Matt Burke saying, I think really making a conscious effort to accelerate his pass rush game is going to be a big thing to look forward to this season, because I can't really wait for Will Anderson Jr. I mean, this is what we expected as Texans fans. This defensive line is going to feast. Danielle Hunter, Will Anderson Jr., Sheldon Rankins, a lot of players that can get to the quarterback. Christian Harris is still dealing with an injury in terms of not necessarily a guy who rushed the passer, but just talking about the defense in a nutshell. So Will Anderson, I'm so excited for him. A guy who earlier in the camp just kind of was trying to get better, talking about, being a veteran, only 3 years into his career. This is his third season. Again, he was only a second-year player last year, but he's playing like an all-pro, like he's been doing it for 5, 6, 7 years, similar to CJ Stroud. I know he didn't have the best season last year, but a guy who is well ahead of his time as an NFL player, because it's hard to play in this league. But Will Anderson has his pass rush ability. I could show you a bunch of different clips, but let's just turn it over to DeMeco Ryans, because I think he said it perfectly about what Will Anderson, not only him as a player, but what he's going to do this season as well as every other season with Houston, hopefully, for his career.
Will has done a really good job of just taking his game to the next level. When it comes to his pass rush, I haven't seen a person just more dialed in when it comes to like what moves he's trying to execute, right? Really, and not predetermined moves, but truly playing instinctive, playing off what the offensive line is giving him, whether he needs to play speed to power, whether he needs to be a little more finesse, working the edge, right, working the inside. But he's just doing a really great job of really developing that pass rush repertoire. And him working with Coach Rod and working with Danielle, you see the growth, you see the improvement. I talk about Will all the time as that relentless player and what we represent as a Texan, but it's also he represents that part of that growth factor and what I love to see from all of our guys. And you can see this year, I know he's going to be a much better pass rusher than he was last year, just because of the work that he's put in all throughout the offseason, and now in training camp is still growing each and every day. And I have to keep him away from a quarterback because he's getting a little too close. But he's doing a great job.
Will Anderson Jr., my mic was muted, sorry, continuing to evolve his game. I mean, that's what he's done his whole career, and he hasn't even been that far into his career. So just a player that you traded up for after picking CJ Stroud number 2. You trade back up, right, 10 picks, 3rd overall, boom. You take your guy. I mean, that's really what you wanted to see from this Tech. Actually, it was third, excuse me. You had a lot of great opportunities to take great players. And then the fact that Nick Caserio traded up to number 3 to get Will Anderson, that's crazy enough. And then the player that he's become over time, I mean, let's just take a look at his PFF grading. I mean, he's already looking like one of the great edge rushers in the NFL. I mean, TJ Watt, Micah Parsons, I know they're more left outside linebackers, but people who rush the passer, Myles Garrett, though he's right up there with the rest of those guys. Trey Hendrickson, I really do believe that if Will Anderson's not top 10, he's near that top 5 range in terms of defensive edges in this league, because he can really play at that level. And look at 12 sacks last season, not a lot of tackles, but that's the thing. He rushes the passer, he creates pressures, creates turnovers. The quicker you can get to the quarterback, the better you can help your defense out, making a quarterback making a rash decision, or just force him to get the ball out of his hands quicker than he'd like to. As far as other things that to note about Will Anderson, he's been one of the impressive faces, not only on the roster, but somebody who is taking that next step in terms of where he's looking forward to. I think he's just scratching the surface last season, and honestly, it might sound pretty dumb, but he could be edging 15 to 20 sacks. I think that's realistically his range this season, because he's only getting better and better as the seasons go on, and I know it's only his 3rd year, but let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think Will Anderson's going to do this season as far as his sack numbers go, because I really do believe he's going to be up there in contention for defensive player of the year, and he could get snubbed. I mean, we'll see, but it's definitely always interesting debate in terms of who is winning the defensive player of the year. As far as other things to look at forward to, Sheldon Rankins, one of the best things the Texans have done is bring in a veteran who not only played great with the team a couple years ago, but to help grow Will Anderson even more, a guy who's been playing in the league for a while, who knows how to do it. Interior defensive line. Apparently their lockers are like right next to each other. They have a great relationship. Again, he was here Will Anderson's rookie season. Now he's back for the 2025 season. I can't wait. So this defense is already shaping up. The Sheldon Rankins was like a little bit of a weird pickup, because some people love it. Some people are like, he's not going to do anything. I love Sheldon Rankins, and for the scheme that is fit in the Texans, he's going to be perfect. So love that from him. He's going to be awesome. And then, again, Ariante Ursery, another big name, the rookie. It's another good thing to look at that he is working out with Will Anderson after practice, like right after practice, on his technique. It's good for not only the rookie and Ursery to be able to go up against a dominant edge rusher and be able to not only maybe pick his brain about how edge rushers get around in the league, but also for Will Anderson, because they can both make each other great. I mean, look at Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner their first year in the league. They kind of bounced off of each other, and it's that competitive edge in the locker room, in training camp, in practice. That's what you want to see. Those one-on-one matchups, whether it's edge rusher on tackle, it's corner on wide receiver, it's linebacker on running back, any of the combinations you could think of in terms of football. So that's what you love to see from this team. And realistically, the locker room is shaping up. DeMeco Ryans, not only the great head coach for Houston, I mean, he was one of the best fits that I believe for the job, but 3rd season in, it's kind of hard to like think of the Texans' expectations, because 2 years in a row, they go to playoff games, they win. Now it's the question of how far can you go, or are you just this team that makes it to the playoffs and then just loses every single year, and you become a trend like the don't want to say any hate to it, but the Dallas Cowboys, they get in the playoff, lose. They're not a team that is known to go far. So for the Texans, I want to see them take that next step, and it's going to be hard to do in the AFC, a conference where you have the Bills, you have the Chiefs, you have a lot of great teams, the Bengals, the Ravens. So you don't want to get too roughed up in terms of, even the Broncos, Chargers, even the Steelers could be a competitive threat with Aaron Rodgers. So, again, a lot to look forward to for the Texans. I would assume that they should win the division in a weak AFC South opponents, but it's not needless to say that any team in the South can run away with it. We don't know. I mean, Daniel Jones can break out for the Colts if he is named the starter. Again, this is football. Anything can happen. I actually think the Jaguars might have a decent season with Liam Cohen as their new head coach. So that's my realistic approach to this season is keep your high, steady mindset. Anything can happen. Do not waver at the fact of any opponent, even if it's the New Orleans Saints, who I don't believe have a lot of offensive threat power this season. But maybe Tyler Shaw, maybe Show can do something. I don't know. So do not look down on any opponents. This is football. You play week in, week out with the same mindset. Win games, even if it's ugly. I don't want any games last season like the Lions game or again, the Chiefs game where the offensive line gives up or the defense does so great that the offense forgets to play in the fourth quarter. We're not going to have any of that. There were multiple weeks last year where the offense didn't score, and I know I'm getting off topic here because this is supposed to be about Will Anderson and how great of a season he's going to have, but I mean, look at the quote that he just said, I mean, as he was getting ready for the season, but Will Anderson is going to help this team get to the next level, and I think he's one of those leaders on that defense that needs to be at the right mindset, at the right presence, and talking about being a leader this season. That is what you want to see. Not only making it to the next level, but being that mentor for not only himself, but other people around him. So this locker room's great. A lot of concern is with the offense. I'm not too worried about the defense, but this could be a year where the Texans defense goes not only top 10, but top 5 worthy. And then Will Anderson becomes one of the best defensive ends in the league. Again, all hypothetical, but a very good possibility. So let me know your thoughts on the Will Anderson situation, what DeMeco Ryans has kind of come out and said. I mean, it really isn't anything crazy, but it is also what you would expect from your head coach to give praise to this kind of player and somebody who's probably going to be in Houston for a long time. Love Will Anderson. Pay that man very soon. He deserves every penny. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts, any ideas in the comments you want to see. How excited are you for football season? What's the Texans season going to look like? Let me know. But appreciate all the support. As always, once again, 75% of you are not subbed to the channel. Let me know if you want to see anything new. It's been Mike Zanetti, Texans Digest. We'll see you in the next episode.